So state violence, sorry, this is small, so I enlarged it so I can read it. So different examples of state violence. One is individual violence that can translate into state violence, both of these examples. General Flynn, I don't call him General Flynn, but that's what his name is on Twitter. Fear of Muslims is rational, all caps, in case you didn't know. Please forward this to others. It's like an email. The truth fears no questions. Sorry, I have to tone down my sass. The truth fears no questions. Like, that's it's dumb. Whatever. So that is someone that has power and can then institute into state violence, can bring policies into practice. Then there's also Senator Fraser Anning. He was a senator in Queensland, Australia, and he sent a memo after the New Zealand shooting. I'm not going to read all of it out loud, but after the Christchurch shooting, he wrote, speaking following reports of multiple shootings at 2 mosques in New Zealand earlier today, Senator Fraser Anning has responded with strong condemnation. I'm utterly opposed to any form of violence within our community, and I totally condemn the actions of the gunman, he said. However, whilst this kind of violent vigilantism can never be justified, however, there's a big but coming, what it highlights is the growing fear within our community, both in Australia and New Zealand, of the increasing Muslim presence. Sit with that for a second. Sit with that. We have just been attacked. The whole Muslim world is mourning, and we are continuing to be attacked because we are at fault for this attack. It is our fault. It is your fault that your mosque just got bombed. Deal with it. Processing all of that. Anytime there is a terrorist attack that happens anywhere in this world, and I've watched it with my father, the first thing that both of us say is, oh, we hope they're not Muslim. Because not only do we have to mourn the loss of humanity, we also have to then, the next time we get out in the public, we have to then defend all Muslims. We have to speak up and speak up louder and say, no, we are not one of them. They're still Muslim. It's not my right to say that they're not Muslim, honestly. I can't say that. I don't have the ability to say that. That's God's right to judge. But I want to say that I'm not one of them. That doesn't represent, those people don't represent all of us. But why does that responsibility fall on Muslims? Right? So that's when solidarity comes into play. That's when allyship comes into play, where people, you use your privilege and your power to speak up. Just like when there was police brutality against Black brothers and sisters, I have the privilege to speak up. I need to use that privilege. I need to use that power. And we need to really think about that, about why we put the onus on the people that are being oppressed in that specific space. As always, left-wing politicians in the media will rush to claim that the causes of today's shootings lie with gun laws, or those who hold nationalist views, but this is all cliched nonsense. The real cause of bloodshed on New Zealand streets today is the immigration program, which allowed Muslim fanatics to migrate to New Zealand in the first place. Let us be clear, while Muslims may have been the victims today, usually they are the perpetrators. Worldwide, Muslims are killing people in the name of their faith on an industrial scale. If anyone knows me, yes, I don't speak for all Muslims, it's just me, but if anyone knows me, they know I'm hella pacifist. All right, I ain't killing anyone. So I don't know who they're saying Muslims are killing people in the name of their faith on an industrial scale. There are 1.8 billion of us out there. 1.8 billion. Do you really think 1.8, not you, but like you in general, do you really think 1.8 billion of us are killing people on a large scale? No, we're not. We're all around you. There's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 of us in this room right now. Talking about solidarity. Ironic, huh? and then it just goes on. And then he cites a Bible verse. Just to top it off. Just to like, little.
Which one?
Matthew 26:52. All they that take the sword shall perish by the sword, and those who follow a violent religion that calls on them to murder us cannot be too surprised when someone takes them at their word and responds in kind. Basically, he's saying we're not blameless as Muslims, and we have he also says we have savage beliefs too. So, and it's funny too that people assume just because I'm Muslim, I haven't read the Bible. I have. I've read the Bible. You know, I don't memorize the Bible, but I read it because my parents told me, hey, you need to know about other religions and you need to respect other religions. You're allowed to go to church. You're allowed to go to these other spaces of worship because you need to understand that we all live together in this world. Now that I'm all heated up. So the other aspects of state violence is the Muslim ban. AOC talked to the FBI recently. I don't have the clip, but if you want to look it up, recently she addressed in a hearing saying why a white supremacist not hold to the same standards that domestic terrorism. So any shooting that is not done by a Muslim is not constituted as domestic terrorism, but anything that's done by a Muslim in this country is terrorism. And the FBI gave some like roundabout answer. Surprise, surprise. And she just like pointed the question back at them. She's like, do you understand? Do you like see the hypocrisy here? And they're like, I don't know. We don't want to answer that. Ground Zero Mosque, I've already said, but that's an example of both individual and state violence. The burqa ban in France, that's violence right there. People forcing me to choose what to wear and what not to wear. That's the same exact thing on the opposite end of the spectrum. So we might think that we are liberating people by saying you are not allowed to wear this clothing, this garb, this sacred cloth. But that's a form of oppression right there. You are taking away their right to choose. And the Sharia law right, the abortion ban. So there was a huge Twitter storm after the abortion ban, the conversation following that, a lot of, specifically I think was it Alabama? Was it that one that it came after that, out of that? Alabama or Georgia, one of them. A lot of liberals stated, oh no, Sharia law is coming down because of the abortion ban. It's like, oh no, actually, I know those people are Muslim that are constituting the abortion ban. The ones that are Muslim are saying, hey, we shouldn't have an abortion ban, but details, it's fine. And what is Sharia law, too? So we need to, like, educate ourselves, and this book talks about it all.